Yes, we are live on our weekly webinar. So sorry, everyone. I know you've been expecting me to come live at 1 p.m. But for some technical issues, we weren't able to make it at exactly 1 p.m. That's why we're here in 1:30. Okay, so today's conversation, the topic we're discussing today is the 10 self models every woman needs before any serious relationship. 10 self models, and you'll be wondering, what is this woman coming to talk about today? What is this one all about? Don't worry, you will understand as we get into this conversation. Have you invited someone to join us in this class? It's going to be hot, and you wouldn't want to hear all of this all alone. You want someone to come and listen with you and to be a part of this class, especially those in your circle, because as you're developing yourself, it's also important that the people around you are developing themselves. So, do you ever wonder how you keep having a failed relationship even after you've dated several men? Today, I'm going to be showing you the 10 self models that you need to embody before you start thinking of being in any other relationship again. Welcome here. My name is Coach Christy Ikenezi, and it's my delight to have you on today's live section. How has it been with you? It's been raining here all day, and I hope it's also been raining where you are and that you're safe, of course. Please ensure that you are safe. You cover up, you do whatever you need to do, build your immune system. This cold period, this can actually fall for it. All right, so the greatest mistakes women make is not falling in love with the wrong man. The greatest mistake women make is not necessarily falling in love with the wrong man. It is falling in love even before they discover who they are. And if you do not know who you are before asking someone else to, okay, if you don't know who you are before a relationship, you spend the entire relationship asking someone else to define your worth. So, what this is about is being able to stand on your ground and know this is who I am first. Find you before you find a relationship. Know you before you can know someone else. And if you do not know who you are, you cannot know what is yours. That's how some people make marriage relationship mistakes, because you don't even know who you are. Some people will come and tell you they picked their spouse when they've not even found out who they were, when they don't even know who they are or what their life is about. And so when they eventually start finding out who they are, they start getting frustrated with the person because they're like, this is not making sense. I'm not supposed to be with this person. I wasn't supposed to be in this marriage. We've seen cases like that, several cases where women have said, oh, I married him in my days of ignorance. I married him when I was a teenager, so I didn't even know what I was doing. I wouldn't have married him if I was who I am today. So it is important to know these things before that marriage starts coming your way, before that suitor starts asking you out. Be sure to know who you are. That's what this conversation is about. So, knowing yourself is the beginning of all wisdom. That's a quote by Aristotle. If you've not known yourself, no matter what you know, you don't know anything. Because that's where wisdom starts. The same way the fear of the Lord is the beginning of wisdom, it's the same way that knowing yourself is the beginning of wisdom. So, know yourself. If you've not found who you are, that's the first thing to find, not love. So, you need to find you before you find love. Now let's dive into the seven models already, because we are running out of time and I wouldn't want to keep you here, for long. But before then, I need you to understand that many young women are desiring for a wedding, but few actually prepare for the marriage itself. Few prepare for relationship, and you spend all your life attracting men, looking for how to attract a man, getting all the beauties that you need, all the makeups, all the pad up, all the whatever enhancements that you need to make to attract a man. But you spend little time improving, brushing, polishing engaging your mind to become someone who attracts the right kind of man. Because you can be all you want to be, and yet you will be unattractive when it comes to marriage. You can be attractive for a friendship, you can be attractive for intimacy, you can be attractive for a lot of things, a gist partner or whatever company, but you won't be the right person for marriage. And you're wondering, why is it that men want me only for the sex, only for the companionship, only for my body, only for this one, only for, and not for marriage? The answer is simple. You have positioned yourself to be only worthy of that kind of love. And you have made yourself, marketed yourself in a way that, looks like it is only this particular area that you are good for. You're not good for marriage. Now, the first self model we're looking at is self identity. Self identity. This self identity answers questions like, who am I? What do I stand for? What defines me? What is my purpose? That's what self identity helps you to answer. If you've not found who you are, you've not found what to stand for or what you stand for, if you've not discovered what defines you, because people define themselves in several many ways. You can define yourself by your beauty, you can define yourself by your hairstyle, by your dressing, by your this, by your that, and forget to define yourself by the real thing you should define yourself with. So what is your purpose? If you've not answered this question, don't bother relationship, because I tell you, relationship is going to expose a lot of these things to your face, and it might expose it in a very chaotic, in a very destructive, in a very painful, terrible, and embarrassing way. So you need to understand these things first. That's where to start from. Not to start from, to find yourself into a relationship somehow and just want to be there and let it be that I'm in a relationship. Every other person is in a relationship. Let me just be in a relationship. That is not the goal. It's not just so that you will answer in the number of those who are in a relationship. Do you really know yourself enough to actually now find out who is suitable for you, who is the right person for you? Because if you do not know, trust me, you make a mess of yourself. And your self-identity is knowing your true identity. And when you know your true identity, it strengthens your character. The problems we have in relationship with women who just throw themselves at men and have men use and dump them is simply because they do not understand their true identity. If you do not understand your true identity, you cannot be a person of character, because you know, this is who I am. So therefore, I can't do this and this and that. Even if every other person can do it, because of my identity, because of who I am, because of whose I am, because of what I represent, because of what I define myself by, I cannot do a thing like this. That's just it. So it's not because you don't want it. It's not because it's not hungry you, like you say. All right? It's not because of that. It's simply because people like this do things like that. So we are a people who does things differently. We are people who do things in a different way, in a different light, with different approach. So you need to understand that. And that's what will keep you unique. Your true identity, knowing it, will keep you unique and help you to know that we are all different anyway. The same way our palms are different, the same way our faces are different, so are we different in every way, including identical twins. They don't have the same purpose. They don't have the same identity. They might be identical and physical, but they are not identical spiritually or mentally. They still need to grow themselves individually. Even conjoined twins, they have a mind of their own. They can think for themselves. So you have no excuse to be like someone else, and you should have no business being like. You should focus on building yourself so that you can become who God wants you to be. So when you lack self-identity, you don't know what you want. You can't make independent choices. You can't also live, you can't live for yourself. You rather be living to impress others. That's how you live your life. You live to impress. You want to please somebody. Am I saying that making someone else to please is wrong? No. But if you are always preoccupied with always having someone, that is beside you, someone around you, or someone you're in a relationship with to like you for one reason or the other, you are going to be doing things that you shouldn't do because the person wants you to do them. And because you want to impress them, you are ready to go all out. You're ready to do anything that you want to do. You're ready to go the extra mile, even when it is against your values, just to make this person happy. So check yourself. Do you find yourself struggling with not knowing what you want? They ask you, what do you even want? In a relationship, in your career, in your academics, in any way you find yourself, do you really know what you want? And you can't answer that question. So let's look at the second one. And the second one is self-preservation. Self-preservation, I must tell you today, is not the same as pride. Sometimes we misquote it as pride. Simply because someone is self-preserved does not mean they are proud. Self-preservation rather means to protect your peace. It means to protect your peace. It means to protect your values. It means to protect your body. It means to protect your mental health. It means to protect your future. It means to protect your reputation. If people who think that you are proud because you only apply self-preservation have a problem, because you are setting boundaries that they cannot set. And so they think that, oh, your own is too much. If you say, I don't go to club because it's against my value, they say, oh, your own is too much. I'm not going to club because I don't like fun. I'm simply not going because I want to preserve myself. As an elite of God, there are places my foot must not step into. So it's not really about whether it's good or bad. No, that's not the conversation. The conversation is deeper than that. It's more about wisdom and foolishness. It's about what you stand for. It's about your covenant with God. Does it permit me to enter certain places? Does it permit me to join certain trains? Does it allow me to say some words that the unbelievers say carelessly? God can pardon them for it. But you're going to pay for it. So you cannot just live your life the way you want or say things the way you want. I want you to think deeply about this thing. Love shouldn't cost you your safety. So you must protect yourself. You protect yourself not just physically. You protect yourself mentally. You protect yourself spiritually. You protect yourself emotionally. You protect yourself financially. And otherwise, how can you say you are protecting yourself? It's not that you guard yourself or you get a bodyguard. That's just on the physical. But on the mental, it's about protecting what gets into your head through your eyes, your mouth, your ears, your nose, however it enters. So you can't just live anyhow. You have to ensure that you protect yourself. And what does it require? What does self-preservation require of us? It requires that we set boundaries. Boundary setting is a prerequisite for self-preservation. Because if you do not set boundaries, people will walk over you and you won't hold it against them because you did not build up a boundary. The same way we all have boundaries in the houses, in our countries. A country will have a boundary. That is where your liberty stops, is where someone else's liberty starts. So when you cross the line, you have to have some reason for doing that. You can't just cross the line anyhow because you need to attract prosecution. That's how it should apply in your life. Don't just live your life without boundaries. Anything goes. People troop in and troop out of your life like you are just a city without walls. So you need to guard yourself. Build a wall and protect yourself so that you can be able to say, okay, this is what I allow and this is what I do not allow in my life. Okay? So, also, self-preservation will require you to walk away from manipulation and possessiveness. People are manipulative, and it is only going to manifest when they see that you are manipulatable. If there is a word like that. If they see that this person cannot be manipulated, they'll just back off. So don't make yourself vulnerable to manipulation. Protect yourself. That is what self-preservation is about. You cannot stay where you are being manipulated, whether it is in a relationship or in a community or an association or gathering in a group. You must be able to walk away when you notice that there is manipulation and there is possessiveness in the relationship. And then you have recognizing toxic behaviors and avoiding it. That's another way to preserve yourself. When you recognize that someone is toxic, sometimes we need to check ourselves. But if you've checked and it is the person you are dealing with that is toxic, or they display toxic behavior once in a while, you need to step out, walk away. But first, it starts with recognizing that toxic relation, that toxic behavior. Because if you don't recognize it, how do you even want to start, dealing with it or avoiding it? Not everyone deserves unlimited access to your life. Did you hear that? Not everyone deserves access to your life. Some people should have no business in your life, because that's how you start saying, oh, people are wicked, people are this, people are that. You gave them the access. If you did not give them the access, they won't have access to you. So you need to understand that you can't blame somebody else when you are the one who gave them access to your life. So when you are constantly seeking validation, because we need validation as a human being, but excessive validation seeking is something to watch. So you need to begin to make the right decisions that are beyond just what you're saying. That's how you show self-preservation. So it's not just that you're protecting yourself against others, you should also protect yourself against you. Because you can damage yourself, you can destroy your life by yourself. It's called self-destruction. So it's like imploding. From inside, you implode. If you do not want that to happen, then build the necessary skills that you need to get yourself in that space. Now, the third one is self-expression. What do we mean? Remember, we said the first one is self-identity, the second one is self-preservation, and then we are looking at self-expression. What does self-expression mean? Self-expression is being able to know how to express your needs, express your desires, express your opinion, express your emotions and your expectations without hurting the other person or without coming off as rude. If you cannot properly express yourself, it's either people step on you or you step on others. So you need to understand how to do that. So if you're not able to express yourself, you'll be dying silently on your inside. By the time it is coming out, it will already be too late. Or for some people, they implode. So they hold it all for a while because they've not been able to express themselves properly. They implode, they lash out, they fight. And you're wondering, how did this come about? This person was a peaceful person. How did they get to this point? And they will tell you, oh, this is how it is. So you cannot be a woman who desires great marriage without having self-expression, because you have to express yourself, right? It's okay to express yourself, but how you do the expression matters a lot. Their communication, spoken and unspoken. Self-expression is communication in spoken and unspoken words. The things you say, the things you didn't say, your body language, your insinuations, your tone, your voice, your tempo, every single one of it is part of what shows us if you are able to express yourself or not. So many of you stay silent until you now explode. And you're wondering, what's going on? So being able to communicate your feelings, being able to communicate your opinion, being able to express yourself properly is not being disrespectful. It's not the same. It is a requirement. You should have been trained to have it from your childhood, from your cradle. But for some of us that were raised where we were shut down, your parents didn't allow you to say a word, you couldn't even say, oh, please, this is how it really happened. You must take everything in. If that is your case, then you have work to do because you need to build yourself until you come to a place where you can categorically state your opinions without sounding insulting. So, self-expression is a sign of maturity because children don't know how to express themselves. Babies, that's why they cry. That's how to express themselves. So if babies are meant to cry in trying to express themselves, are you also supposed to cry as an adult? You that is a full adult, should you also cry? The reason why you will not cry is because you've had words to put together to express how you are feeling per time. So that's it. So even in trying to communicate, you shouldn't assume, especially when it has to do with your expectation. You don't say you should have known that this, that. You should have done it like this, that. Did you communicate it? What you should rather say is that I need this. I need this. Instead of telling someone, you always do this, you always do that, you always like this, you always like that. That's how you did it the other day. Oh, I know, you know. Why not say, I feel ignored. I feel this way. I feel that way. I feel like I'm alone in this relationship. I feel lonely. I feel scared about this and that. I feel worried that this and that can happen to us. So that you're not blaming anybody. I think this conversation will have to spend through 2 weeks because trust me, this topic is so elaborate and I'm just in point number 3 and I wouldn't want to keep us here for 1 whole hour. So I'm just going to make it brief and then we'll come back next week. So you must not miss next week's class. We'll come back next week Tuesday and we have deeper and stronger conversations. Finish this up. So when you express yourself in a healthy way, you are creating a healthy relationship. But if you cannot express yourself, then your relationship will be toxic. Self-expression is like sharing a piece of yourself with others around you. Sharing a piece of yourself to others around you. So, you must talk. You must express yourself. But do it in a way that is honorable, that is godly, that is satisfactory, and that is respectful. All right? So that's what I need you to understand. Now, the next one we're going to look at is self-awareness. I know that this one is going to be common to you. You're supposed to know it, But in case you've not heard about it, we are still going to be discussing it today. Self awareness. This is a very big deal in life. Being self aware, being able to know what's happening around you, being able to recognize your environment, to tell the signs, to look at how things are going and say, the way this thing is going is not good. I should do this and that. All right? Or when you look at yourself, you are like, I'm actually bigger than this. I just need to walk my way so that I can match the reality that I have right now from the things that I even think about in my head. So, self awareness is so important, it's so critical, it's so crucial. You cannot afford not to be someone who knows how to express themselves. Self awareness is the conscious knowledge of your character and your feelings. Self awareness is the conscious knowledge, of your character and identity, your feelings, everything about you. Because if you do not understand that, you will keep